That's the problem that I have with this whole situation. But I am going to save this conversation for Jay-Z. Jay-Z, you're watching. I know you're watching, but you got people calling me. Stop having people call me. You can call me yourself. You know how to get my number. You know you got people calling me. Call me yourself, because this right here is going to go viral. The way my job works on the internet, everybody's going to be clipping, sharing on TikTok. Watch this.
Wait a second. Are people really saying that Beyonce and Jay-Z knew what really went down with Prince? And what's this wild rumor about it being connected to Prince turning down Roc Nation? Sit down for this one, because things are about to get insane. Apparently, Beyonce and Prince were not as tight as we've all been led to believe. Behind the scenes, there was serious tension, and Jay-Z was right in the middle of it. Word going around says Prince was actually uneasy around Beyonce at one point, and whispers claim Jay-Z might have played a darker role in what happened to him. Remember when Nicki Minaj accused Jay-Z of stealing her money and then trying to silence her with an NDA? Well, people are saying Beyonce and Jay-Z pulled the same move on Prince, but this time, they didn't even bother with the paperwork. Some say they took things way further to make sure he couldn't speak out again. Before Prince's shocking passing, he was reportedly tangled in a heated legal fight with Jay-Z over ownership of his master recordings. And just when things were getting serious, Prince was suddenly gone. The whole situation has people questioning what was really happening behind closed doors in the music world. Before all this drama, Prince had already been battling Warner Brothers over the same issue, ownership of his music. It's like everywhere he turned, somebody was trying to play him and take what he worked for. Prince wasn't new to fighting for his rights, but this time, things took a chilling twist. On April 16, 2016, he made what would become his final post on social media, a close-up picture of himself with a haunting caption, "Just when you thought you were safe."
It really concerned me because it made me think that, wow, so you mean you do all these things to take care of yourself and you die so young?
Fans still talk about it today, saying it felt like a silent cry for help. And then, 6 days later, Prince was gone. The official story claimed he passed from a fentanyl overdose, but now people are saying that doesn't add up. Too many strange details, too many unanswered questions. And get this, before the shock even settled, Jay-Z was already putting down $40 million to grab Prince's unreleased music catalog. He planned to make it exclusive on Tidal, turning tragedy into profit almost instantly. Prince's body wasn't even cold, and reports say Jay-Z and Beyonce were already working on how to cash in. It sounds unbelievable, but that's what's being whispered behind the scenes. Not only did they outbid every other offer, but they allegedly went a step further, flying Prince's sister Tyka and her husband Maurice Phillips out to New York. The goal? To convince them face-to-face to hand over the rights to Prince's legacy. So word is, Jay-Z wasn't just eyeing Prince's unreleased tracks, he also wanted the rights to stream all of Prince's already released music on Tidal. He knew that when a legend passes, people rush to replay their old hits. And he wanted to cash in on that nostalgia wave, but Prince's sister Tyka wasn't having it, not one bit. Instead of selling to Jay-Z, the family went with Universal Music Group, shutting Roc Nation out completely. And to make it clear just how they felt, they even sent Jay-Z a letter calling him out for trying to profit off Prince's death. It didn't stop there. They took him to court too. Reports say Jay had already uploaded some of Prince's classic tracks to Tidal before getting permission from the estate. Can you believe that? The court later ruled that Roc Nation had no rights to exploit any of Prince's intellectual property, period. That whole situation only added to the mystery surrounding what was going on behind closed doors. And here's the thing. Prince had already been through a long war with Warner Brothers over his masters before all this. He finally won back control in 2014, but the victory came with a price. It made him deeply suspicious of everyone around him. He didn't trust easily, and maybe for good reason. Prince wasn't just worried about people trying to snatch his masters and cash in on his name. He was scared for his life. Sources say he believed some powerful figures in the industry were plotting against him, so he stepped up his personal security. He wasn't taking any chances, not after all the shady business deals and backroom talks swirling around him. Rumors started spreading that certain big names wanted Prince gone so they could swoop in, buy up his estate, and make millions off his legacy. At first, Jay-Z's name wasn't part of that list, but soon enough, folks started giving him the side eye too. The timing, the moves, everything just looked way too suspicious. And about that lawsuit Prince's estate filed against Jay-Z, that was only the tip of the iceberg. The deeper story makes the whole situation sound even darker. When Jay-Z first launched Tidal, he was out here selling the dream that it was a platform by artists for artists. That slogan pulled in a lot of major names. Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Alicia Keys, and plenty more, all snagging a small 3% stake in the company. But here's where it gets messy. Prince didn't actually invest in Tidal. Instead, Jay-Z and Beyonce allegedly convinced him to sign a contract that gave them control over his hit-and-run album release.
And so I felt like it should belong to me. That said, the companies felt otherwise.
Prince reportedly thought it was just a partnership deal, but that signature might have given them way more access to his catalog than he ever intended. The whole thing felt like a setup from the jump. The plan was simple, or at least it looked that way at first. Phase 1 of Prince's hit-and-run album would stream exclusively on Tidal for 90 days before being released everywhere else. But before long, Prince started realizing that Jay-Z wasn't any different from the money-hungry executives he'd spent years fighting against. People say that's one of the biggest reasons his estate flat out refused to sell anything to Jay-Z after his passing. By the end of his life, Prince didn't want anything to do with Jay-Z or Beyonce. The thought of them owning his music after everything that happened, that would have been a major insult to his legacy. Even though he mostly handled business with Jay-Z, reports say there was tension between Prince and Beyonce behind the scenes too. The only reason he even got into that Tidal deal was because he trusted Beyonce. He thought she was genuine. But allegedly, she used that friendship to convince him the partnership was in his best interest, when really, it may have only benefited her and Jay-Z. That realization hit him hard. And remember, Beyonce has publicly called Prince one of her biggest inspirations, and fans still talk about their unforgettable performance at the 2004 Grammys. But here's the twist. Insiders claim Beyonce didn't even want to perform with him that night. Rumor has it she was pressured into it and just went along for the cameras. What looked like a dream collaboration might have been pure tension backstage. Prince had actually wanted to perform with Beyonce. He admired her talent and thought their collab would be iconic. But when they hit the stage, Beyonce nearly stole the whole show. Viewers said she was trying to outshine him, and the backlash was wild. People accused her of trying to one-up a legend, and when asked about it later, her explanation raised even more eyebrows. She said it wasn't her. It was her alter ego, Sasha Fierce. In her own words, "With me and Prince, I was terrified of working with him. Walking into rehearsals, I was so overwhelmed, nervous, and starstruck. I was in my shell during rehearsals. But on stage, I didn't even give him the mic. And I thought, wait, the mic's supposed to be in the middle, not in front of my mouth." But that was Sasha. She took over. I did his thing, and I was like, no, I didn't just do that. But I was able to watch it like it wasn't me. That confession left people speechless. Some fans brushed it off as performance talk, but others thought it sounded unsettling. Anyway, back to Prince and Jay-Z. After seeing what kind of man Jay really was, Prince started pulling back fast. He realized Jay-Z wasn't any better than the music executives at Warner Brothers he'd fought for years. In fact, some say Jay was worse because he pretended to be for the artists while playing the same industry games behind closed doors. And then came the most chilling part. Prince was found dead in his elevator just 6 days after that eerie Instagram post saying, "Just when you thought you were safe, fans can't shake the feeling that something was off." Many believe the fentanyl overdose story doesn't add up, that it was just a smokescreen. The whispers won't stop. If they couldn't make money off him while he was alive, some think ending his story might have been their way to cash in afterward. After Prince's death, the drama only got messier. His estate became a full-on battleground with lawyers, record labels, and industry insiders all scrambling to grab a piece of his legacy. Millions were on the line, and suddenly everyone who once kept quiet started popping up with exclusive rights, contracts, and proof that they were owed something. It was chaos, pure chaos. Meanwhile, whispers about Beyonce and Jay-Z's involvement refused to die down. Every time new details surfaced about Jay-Z trying to buy Prince's unreleased music, people couldn't help but ask, why was he moving so fast? It was like he knew exactly what to do and who to call, as if everything had been mapped out long before Prince even passed. Fans online started calling it the purple cover-up, saying there was no way all of this was just coincidence. Even stranger, some insiders claim Prince had told close friends he didn't trust certain power couples in the industry. People who, in his words, smiled in your face while plotting behind your back. Everyone knew who that sounded like. And the timing of Jay-Z and Beyonce's actions after his death only made those suspicions grow louder.
Pretty much said, like, Jay doesn't really want awards. Well, he go to the Grammys.
Right.
He you know, come into the Black-owned spaces. Let's figure out how to work together so that way we have the relationship when it matters, not when it's convenient for you and your image. Because they all call us when the story.
Not long after, Tidal began pushing exclusive Prince playlists, and fans noticed the releases kept changing. Tracks appeared and disappeared without warning. Some said it looked like someone was quietly testing what they could get away with. Prince's loyal followers went off online, demanding answers and calling the whole thing shady. To this day, the situation hasn't fully settled. His catalog still moves through different hands, and his estate keeps fighting off new claims. But one thing people can't ignore is how quickly the vultures circled once Prince was gone. For someone who spent his whole life fighting for control of his art, the way things unfolded after his death feels like the exact nightmare he was trying to avoid. Years have passed since Prince's death, yet the mystery around what really happened keeps getting darker. Every few months, a new rumor surfaces, new files, new insiders, new theories, and every time, Beyonce and Jay-Z's names somehow slide back into the mix. Fans can't help but wonder, why do their names keep popping up whenever someone digs deeper into Prince's final days? Some reports claim that before his passing, Prince was working on something major, a tell-all documentary exposing corruption in the music industry. Sources close to him said he had receipts, proof of shady label practices, and even evidence of artists being manipulated or silenced. But after he died, not a single frame of that footage was ever found. Gone, just like that. It's almost like someone made sure it would never see the light of day. And the eerie part, Prince had allegedly warned people that if anything ever happened to him, it wouldn't be an accident. Friends say he talked about powers in the business that didn't want him speaking his truth. Now, looking back, those words sound like a haunting prophecy. Meanwhile, Jay-Z and Beyonce have stayed mostly silent whenever questions about Prince come up. They move carefully, never mentioning his name in interviews, never addressing the rumors, just staying focused on their own empire. But to fans, that silence speaks volumes. Because if you're innocent, why stay quiet when your name keeps getting dragged through the mud? Today, Prince's fans still fight to protect his legacy, keeping his story alive and questioning what really went down behind the scenes. His music continues to rise, but so do the questions. Was it really just a tragic end? Or was there something much bigger, something carefully hidden that the world still hasn't uncovered? Now here's where things get even crazier, because recently, new details have started resurfacing that might blow this whole thing wide open. A former associate of Prince came forward, saying that just weeks before his death, Prince had mentioned feeling watched and followed. He reportedly told this person, "They want something I have, and they won't stop until they get it." That line alone has fans losing their minds online. Around that same time, Prince was apparently finalizing plans to take full control of all his music, past, present, and future, and move it under a new label he was building himself. He wanted complete freedom, no middlemen, no industry control. And guess what? That move would have cost a lot of people millions. Suddenly, the idea that someone wanted to stop him doesn't sound so far-fetched anymore. And the plot thickens. Because after his passing, key files, hard drives, and master recordings mysteriously vanished from his vault. We're talking about music no one had ever heard before, potentially decades of unreleased material. To this day, no one really knows where everything went, but some people suspect certain big names in the industry may have gotten their hands on it quietly. What's even wilder is that some insiders claim to have seen documents linking Prince's missing work to corporate entities tied to Tidal and Roc Nation. Nothing has been proven, of course, but the timing, the coincidences, the sudden disappearances all seem too clean, too convenient. Prince once said, "If you don't own your masters own you."
This is what I look for. When I see a success, I'm looking for anything
to say that they didn't do it.
Yeah, to taint it.
And now, fans can't help but feel like that statement turned into a chilling warning from beyond the grave. Every new clue only deepens the mystery. And people are still asking, was Prince's death really about music, or was it about power, control, and silence? And let's not forget the shady lyrics in that freestyle Jay-Z dropped right after Prince's death. He rapped, "Prince left his masters where they are safe and sound. We are never gonna let the elevator take him down." Fans immediately caught that line, and the internet exploded. Some took it as a tribute, but others thought it sounded way too specific, especially since Prince was literally found in an elevator. That line gave people chills. Theories went wild online, with fans digging deep into Jay-Z's timing and lyrics, saying it felt more like a cryptic confession than a heartfelt homage. Comment sections were flooded, people asking, why mention the elevator at all? And what does he mean by safe and sound? It was like every word had a double meaning, and everyone had a theory. Then there's the overdose story that never sat right with Prince's close friends. One fan said, "I was confused when they said Prince died of a fentanyl overdose because throughout his life, he was so careful about what went into his body. People who actually knew him said he was clean, health conscious, and only took doctor-prescribed medication for pain. Never street stuff." Another person online flat out said, "That man didn't die of a fentanyl OD, he was deleted." And honestly, with everything that's come out since, a lot of folks are starting to think the same. So now I gotta ask, what do you think? Do you believe Jay-Z and Beyonce might have had a hidden role in all of this? Or was it just another tragic case twisted by rumors and coincidences? Was Prince actually targeted because they wanted to make money off him and his art? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next deep dive. This story's far from over, and trust me, you're gonna want to be here when the next secret drops.